Video just to look at the nuts and bolts of Pear Deck. In the presentation, we've seen kind of how the front end, which is how it looks, and this is how you make one. It's fairly straightforward, and so we'll just go from there. I'm in the middle of making my presentation right now, and you can see hopefully a couple of familiar slides. Okay, nothing particularly jazzy here. Just kind of trying to turn an ordinary PowerPoint slide into an interactive one. Okay, now just before we look at that, there's a couple of small things to point out. One, I'm working within SharePoint here. Okay, currently that's what we have to do because the Pear Deck is an extension to our online Microsoft 365 software. Okay, now if you want to install that, I'm trying to remember what I did. I'm pretty sure I just Googled Pear Deck extension, logged in with Microsoft 365, and then after that, when I went to SharePoint, I updated SharePoint, and then I found in the top right-hand corner up here, there was a little Pear Deck button. And when you click the Pear Deck button, this thing loads, this little toolbar loads, which has got all of the stuff that you want in it, okay? It's got some templates, it's got some critical thinking slides, okay, we've got social emotional learning things, and then we've got your own kind of homemade stuff. So what I've done so far is I made a couple of slides, okay? I've got my slide which is about the multiple choice. I've got my slide about numbers, okay? So how about I do another one? So I'll do new slide, okay? And then I'll ask a question, okay? How about this one? What features of Pear Deck, oops, not D3, do you see yourself using in the classroom? All right, and what I'll say to that one is I think that's going to be a text-based one. That's going to be one, probably, to be honest, the most sort of interesting one for me, all right, which is the one that will give some answers where students can write. So I'm just going to update my slide, and you can see on the bottom that has become Pear Deckified. All right, I like using red, so I'm just going to turn that into red. All right, so I've made a few slides. Okay, let's imagine I was ready to go and I wanted to present. Okay, obviously I'm not particularly happy with the look of these things. However, we'll just go for this just now. Okay, what I would then do is I'd click on present with Pear Deck. Okay, there's a couple of options actually that I found just as I was preparing this. We've got require student logins. You require you to log in. I'm going to turn that off. All right, where you can join with an avatar and a nickname. That's up to you. Okay, what that's going to be. Okay, so I'll click that, and then I'm going to click present with Pear Deck. Now I'm a control freak, so I'm going to go for instructor paste. Okay, and you can see right there that's taking me to Pear Deck. Okay, it takes a little bit of time. Okay, that was quicker than last time. All right. I could give you a link that will copy the link, could paste that into Teams, or I could share this in my screen in Teams. Okay, and then we can sort of see where we're at. Now, because we're in the teacher paste version, okay, whatever I go to is the stuff that you guys can see, and you'll see this during the presentation. Okay. It's quite good, and again, it's something I'm kind of just getting used to is the fact that you can see what the slides actually look like, so I can actually see what the student view is. This is where I sort of think my slides are a bit boring, but I've not quite taken the time yet to jazz those up. Let's see if I have some time later. Okay, so those are our sort of student view to see what you guys can see. I can see there's the multiple choice, the number, and then the written bit. Okay. As I said in the presentation, I can lock things, okay, and that will stop people from being able to write or from being able to do anything. And I can also show responses. Now, obviously, there's no responses right now because no one's in the session, all right, but here's where I would see everyone's stuff kind of coming up, all right. There's a couple more things that I probably won't have time to talk about in the presentation, okay. I think you can do this on the hoof, all right. You can put a few slides in there, which are quite nicely designed, okay, which are kind of standards, all right. We've got basically a whole library of different things, okay, which are far more interesting than mine. Okay, so I'm just going to close that window down just now. as I've said, okay, what we would have is if I was going through, for example, these different slides, the one I'm really interested in is the written responses, and these written responses would load here. Now, if I had responses, I could give feedback. If I had feedback, I could then end the session, okay, by pressing end. All right. Before I do that, I could also do other things like turning on the student pace, etc. Okay, and if I pressed end, I could then name the session. Okay, I'll call this, there you go, test session. Okay, I think that's going to be all right there. And this is where the reflect and review thing comes in. I get a link straight away, which can be copied, okay, and sent off to my students. And I can also open it up. Now, obviously, again, it's going to be empty, but this is where all of the stuff that you would have had, if there was a bunch of students there, I could have a look through, and I could look at the feedback, add to the feedback, etc. Okay, so that's just another couple of minutes on sort of the stuff that I haven't had a chance to show in the presentation. As ever, if you've got any questions, please do ask them. Thanks for watching.